Well, it's important to say that European women and British women have lightened their skin for hundreds of years. In the Elizabethan era, it was associated with purity and Christian values. But when Britain went into the empire and began conquering other parts of the world, the message was twofold. It was ideological, that white people are more civilized and superior, and therefore we should rule you. And then it was also a commodification of whiteness, that we will sell you these products that will make you whiter, and then you can be more like us. And those two things ended very, very recently. You know, in people's lifetime, that message was still being officially promoted by the British state and British companies.
Are you saying then that people with dark skin, say in West Africa, have been effectively manipulated and brainwashed into thinking that it's better to be lighter? That actually, that is not a natural state of mind at all. That's not a logical thing to think. They've been brainwashed into it.
Absolutely. It's a message that, as I said, was part of the official kind of geopolitical strategy of countries like Britain for hundreds of years. And the thing about it is, and everyone will say the empire's over, you know, which is true, but it's the psychological effect of those messages that is very, very pernicious. And that's not something that disappears overnight. And it manifests in so many ways. I mean, look at the black stars who have the biggest global resonance. It's Beyonce, it's Rihanna, you know, and this is no criticism of them, but it often happens to be the lighter skinned black women who get traction. If you look in Ghana, there are sperm banks offering Ghanaian couples white sperm so that they can have fair-skinned children.
Shut the door.
Really? That is a fact. That is a fact, and it is something that exists in a very layered and complicated way in many societies.
Okay. Look, Nivea have issued a statement. It's always difficult, by the way, if you're a white person talking about any of these issues, because you feel, even by asking the questions, you're some way being drawn into a debate. You're in a minefield. But look, this is what Nivea have said. We recognise the concerns raised by some consumers regarding our Nivea product communication in Ghana and take them very seriously. Our intention is never to offend our consumers. As a global company, we offer a wide range of products that are aimed to address the diverse skincare needs of our consumers around the world. Behind this, though, there are several arguments, aren't there, if I can put them to you. One, like you say, people have for years wanted to change their skin colour, just like people who've got curly hair want straight, people who've got straight hair want curly. You know, people want to change what they've got. It's kind of fashion and kind of a sense of wanting to reinvent yourself, I guess, in some ways. And as you say, we wanted to be pale for centuries here in the UK, largely because those who worked in agriculture were tanned, and if you were inside, you were richer. Now, we spend a fortune on fake tans. I had a very messy hour last night, and my sheets bear the testimony, slathering on fake tan, because my horrible white October skin is not pretty at the moment. So, you know, we all have different things, and I'm not doing that because of anything other than I think it looks better, my skin to look darker. I'm not making a kind of racial statement. Maybe these people just would like to play around with things a bit.
I think it is important to move away from the idea that this is just some kind of self-improvement or beautification, because of the context. The context is very important. It's a continuous context from colonial times when whiteness was associated, in particular, with certain ideals in a way that being tanned doesn't carry the same baggage here now. So yes, it's true, women of all races spend billions of pounds trying to look.
What about the fact that people were already lightening their skin before companies like Nivea found safe ways to do it? That is a strong argument that I've seen, that people were bleaching their skin and damaging it. Maybe safer alternative products to feed a market that's there is an argument Nivea might put forward.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because as far as I know, Nivea doesn't use any illegal products in its skin lightening creams. But it's important to say that the ads like the one we saw that's playing in Ghana will be watched by millions of very low-income women who will then go out and buy cheap products on the marketplace, which are readily available, which contain very toxic and carcinogenic ingredients that cause all kinds of lifelong skin conditions. So I think partly this is just about responsible business. This is partly about us as consumers saying to Nivea, we do not accept you promoting this ideal. And I personally don't think this is an issue for black women or for black people. I think everybody who buys Nivea and doesn't complain about the way Nivea is conducting itself is in a way complicit in this world in which we accept the idea that white is beautiful.
But I think the point you made really clearly here is that if you take the two opposites, white people wanting to go darker, I certainly want to get a suntan. I like looking a little bit darker. That's to do, as you said, Kate, that's to do actually with wealth perception, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people who can afford to go abroad in the winter and come back with a tan
spend their summer in the Caribbean and winter in Saint-Tropez.
It's an association of ideas, and it's about money. And as you say, in Victorian times and before, to be pale was to look good, because that also implied you were wealthy. But this, at the other end of the spectrum, is about racial overtones and undertones. That's the difference.
Exactly.
At this end, it's about wealth and perception, but here it's race.
Exactly. And if you look at that Nivea ad, it's very similar, actually, weirdly, to ads from 100 years ago advertising British soaps, which promised to make people whiter and cleaner and more civilised. So for me, it's that continuity and that baggage that makes all the difference in this context.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it really was
Thank you
interesting.
very much indeed.